Hey guys, what's up? It's Yuzu week here at the Lather channel, and today is part 2 of 3, and we're using Talbot Shaving and Maol Grooming's Okuma, coming right up. Hello and welcome to the Lather channel, where we talk about all things wet shaving. I'm your host John, and today for Yuzu week part 2 of 3, we're featuring Talbot Shaving and Maol Grooming's Okuma. Now before we jump into the shave, let me show you the other gear we're using today. First up is the razor. The Razor Rock 0.84 Game Changer, and this is loaded with a Gillette Silver Blue. Next up for my brush is one from Wild West Brushworks. I believe it's called M17, and it is an awesome pink, black, starry, glittery, beautiful brush here. I absolutely love the pour and the colors on this one. I can't wait to use it. This is outfitted with a 2-band Badger Fanchurian. And of course, the software for today is the aforementioned Okuma, both the soap and the splash. So let's not waste too much time and get right into the lathering process. So here we go with the brush, nice 30-second load. The usual face lather. We are in the middle, or rather the tail end, of a heat wave here in the Boston area, hence my rocking the tank top here. It's been so hot that, even with the kids and the family, you don't even really want to be outside. So we're thinking of some indoor activities where the fans or the air conditioner can be trying to mitigate some of that heat. That being said, Yuzu Week is well timed, featuring this Asian citrus. As I mentioned in the last video, with A&E's The Undersea, Yuzu is also known as Japanese grapefruit. It's a really unique, complex smelling citrus. And funny enough, not only does Okuma feature the scent of yuzu, also passion fruit, another kind of unique fruit scent there, and also cypress and some aquatic notes as well. I was able to get my hands on the soap a little bit earlier as a very generous gift from my buddy Ross, who I've had the pleasure to work with in numerous capacities, and just someone in the shaving community I definitely count amongst my friends and chat with regularly. This soap is in fact his soap with Talbot. So Chad from Talbot worked with Ross. Okuma was a resort in Okinawa, Japan that Ross and his family frequented when he was a child. So I was honored that I got this early. It was my first taste of the V3 base, the newest base from Talbot. And when the set debuted on West Coast Shaving's website, I went ahead and picked up the matching splash to go along with it. I'll show a picture of the artwork here. The artwork actually was made or kind of derived from some drawings that Ross's kids did. And it's something that Chad has been doing with other Talbot scents, where he had his daughters submit some artwork, and from there they'll kind of play around with it to create the soap label. So kind of a really cool way to include the family in the process. Since we're already talking about the scent as well, let me throw up on the screen for you the official scent notes. And you can see it's pretty easy to decipher each of the notes listed. I really enjoy those fruity notes, the yuzu, the passion fruit at the top. I think the aquatic notes go with it well too. The one thing that's listed is forest floor, and that might be, I don't know if it's vetiver, but obviously it's a dirt-like smell. Unfortunately to me, that sometimes it kind of clashes with the rest of the composition a little bit. I think only because everything evokes the beach and the ocean, and then you got this kind of lurking note on the outside that is more about the woods and the forest. I mean, it's perfectly on brand for what Chad from Talbot's kind of scent composition style is like. Having the opportunity to use a lot of his scents, they're very outdoorsy. It's kind of cool to notice that through line from all his scents, that some part or multiple parts of nature are always represented in each scent. Now, I forgot to give you my impressions of sniffing the tub, but in both the tub and in the actual lather itself, this is quite strongly scented. I would say at least a 7, maybe an 8 out of 10 as far as scent strength. And the soap is quite firm as well, so it takes a little bit of effort to make an indent in the soap. Well, we're lathered up, so let's go in for the with the green pass. We got about 3 days worth of beard growth here. As some may have noticed, I did nick myself a little bit from a blemish with my recording of the undersea, so that's kind of healed mostly. I still will be careful around here, fingers crossed. So here we go. So that leads me to something that I did want to talk today, and that's, amongst other things, that is styles, fragrance styles rather. And being obsessed, or at least really into shave soaps, and followed some artisans for a while, it's kind of cool when you can pick up on that. So as I was talking about Talbot, I've tried and owned enough of Talbot soaps where I do think I can kind of pick out a particular style. You can contrast this against Barrister and Man. I think with Barrister and Man, Will tries a lot of different stuff. He's not afraid to buck tradition, and so you'll get sometimes. I think his Moustassacs included scents, which include La Vanille, Baudelaire, Vespers, my personal favorite. That's kind of his namesake. But he's done so many different scents, like he's more than a one-trick pony. And while I would characterize him by that Moustassacs fragrance base, which is kind of musky, vanilla-like, it's really, very, very unique. I'd kind of call that his signature, but if anything, his style is to be just have a strong POV and have polarizing scents. Most of them honestly are love or hate. Very, very rarely, unless it's one of the few kind of the evergreen basic scents like Seville, Bay Rum, Cheshire. Those are all like pretty mass appealing. If not like the worst thing you ever hear about it is, it's okay and not for me. No one really hates it. Some people love it for sure. Now backing up a bit, I did mention that this is V3 and the latest base from Talbot soaps. And I would say that the characteristic that stands out the most to me is its ease of lather. And more I feel like that's something I'm picking up on. I most recently noticed that about Moon soaps, and while this is plenty slick and plenty protective, it's not a super dense, low structure soap that we've been seeing a lot of this year. Nor is it a kind of the more traditional, really fluffy, airy, cloudy lather. It's kind of somewhere in between, but I really do like it a lot. I do think ease of lather has always been a factor throughout all three formulations of soap. And also I do want to acknowledge that I think plenty of folks, enthusiasts of wet shaving, might be tired of the whole soap formula thing. But this is, Okuma and Island in the Sun, which also re-released at the same time. is the premiere of the soap base, so I do at least want to acknowledge and mention it. All right, now before I forget too, I gotta mention something about Yuzu, it being Yuzu week. I don't have that many fun Yuzu facts. If I can find one, I'll put one in post-production, but at the very least, let me share for you what the Yuzu fruit looks like in its natural form. And I do want to say that for the scent in Okuma, what is kind of anchoring this as a more Asian-inspired scent, since it's trying to transport you to Okinawa, Japan, Yuzu certainly does it. I forget if I've mentioned it on the channel, but my own background, ethnic background, is Taiwanese. And I can't say that in Taiwanese cooking, which has some overlap with Japan because of a Japanese occupation, but traditional cooking from Taiwan and China doesn't use yuzu. I do know that in the fragrance world, it's popped up a few other times. Oftentimes to have some sort of connection to Japan, which is no surprise, I guess. And as always, this Razor Rock Game Changer, it always brings it. Mowing down 3 days of beard growth with no problem whatsoever. Let's do this final cleanup pass. I have been experimenting with, when using the safety razor, with shorter strokes. When I'm recording and chatting, I do forget sometimes. But the short progressive strokes, I don't know, it really winds up with a closer shave and overall less irritation. So as far as technique goes, if that's not something you've tried before, yeah, try on your next shave. Go with a bunch of short strokes, whether with the grain, against the grain, across all your passes. Alright, so as we're winding down the shave here, let me throw a question at you. Which artisan or brand makes your favorite scents in wet shaving? Let me know in the comments below. If you have more than one, feel free to list them all. I know picking favorites can be very hard for some folks, but you got a favorite, you got some favorites, list them below, let's share, let's talk about it. So here we have the Aftershave, and this is from Maol Grooming, who is now basically just collaborating with Talbot all the time. So if Talbot has a scent, Maol will make the aftershave to match it, and if there's a Maol grooming scent, then Talbot Shaving will provide the soap. This is one of my favorite aftershave formulas. Hopefully next week, with Yuzu week all done, I'll share with you my favorite artisan aftershaves. The scent matches very well. I mean, I don't really get too much difference from it, so if you like the scent and the soap, this is one that doesn't deviate too much, and it'll definitely get more of that scent. It'll extend a little longer. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for today's shave. I really do hope that the temperature is coming down in the New England area, because this, almost 100-degree weather, it really kills productivity. But that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for today's shave, for watching this video. I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.